Hey guys, what's up? This is an update video with a new booster pack to be used in Duel Links. It is the 7th booster pack and will be released on the 22nd of September. This will include ninjas, level monsters, fusions and worms being the main focus. The pack itself is called Generation Next and reminds me a little bit of the theme song of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which says Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Generation X. Now, as for the cards themselves, the first set are ultra rares, including King of the Swamp. This is a Water Aqua, level 3, with 500 attack and 1100 defense, and its effect is this card can be used as a substitute for any one fusion material whose name is specifically listed on the fusion monster card, but the other fusion materials must be correct. You can discard this card to the graveyard to add one polymerization from your deck to your hand. This card is useful as not only can it be used in place of a fusion material, but if you already have the necessary cards for a fusion, but not the fusion spell polymerization, this can be searched for. This helps to increase your overall consistency. The next card is Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 8. This is a Fire Dragon, level 8, with 3000 attack and 1800 defense, and its effect is it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned by Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 6, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. During either player's turn, when a spell card is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. You must control this face-up card to activate and to resolve this effect. This card is good as you can force the negation of your opponent's cards. This means they cannot use Ryoku or any spells to remove this card, making it easier for you to win. This essentially cuts down their deck by a third as they'll be prevented from using any spell. The next card is Evil Dragon Ananta. This is a dark reptile, level 8, with question mark attack and defense. Its effect is this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by removing from play all reptile type monsters from your side of the field and graveyard. This card's attack and defense are each equal to the number of reptile type monsters you removed times 600. During each of your end phases, destroy one card on the field. This card is good as it can get to decent attack, and anything your opponent places on the field is vulnerable to its destruction effect. However, there aren't that many reptiles in the game that are good, so until this happens, this might still not be worth running. The next card is Card Guard. This is a Dark Fiend type, level 4 with 1600 attack and 500 defense, and its effect is, if this card is normal or special summoned, place one guard counter on it. This card gains 300 attack for each guard counter on it. Once per turn, you can target one other face-up card you control, remove one guard counter from this card, and if you do, place one guard counter on that target. If that card would ever be destroyed, you can remove one guard counter from it instead. This card is useful as you can protect any card you want, so your stronger monsters or specific face-up cards, such as continuous spells and traps, won't be removed. An example is Pump Princess, so it could keep making your opponent's monsters weaker whilst having protection. The next card is Magical Something. This is a dark spellcaster, level 4 with 1800 attack and 1300 defense, and its effect is, each time a spell card is activated, place one spell counter on this card. When that spell card resolves, this card's level is increased by the number of spell counters on this card. You can remove 3 spell counters from this card, then target one quick play spell card in your graveyard, set that card to your spell and trap zone. You can only use this effect of Magical Something once per turn. The level effect makes no difference within the game, but accumulating spell counters is decent as other cards can be activated by having spell counters just on the field, and recovering quick plays can be useful, such as enemy controller to recover your resources. The next card is FiveHeaded Dragon. This is a Dark Dragon Fusion, level 12 with 5000 attack and 5000 defense, and it requires 5 dragon types. Its effect is, must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other way. it required by other ways, cannot be destroyed by battle with a dark, earth, water, fire or wind monster. This card will be the most powerful in the game. If you had Dragon's Mirror in the game, then it would be even more powerful, as at the moment you would need to wait for your polymerization and have enough dragons between your field and hand to bring this out. By that argument, you will probably have game before ever getting to this card. The next card is Arcana Knight Joker. This is a light warrior fusion, level 9 with 3,800 attack and 2,500 defense, and requires a fusion of Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, and King's Knight. And its effect is, a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, you can discard the same type of card, monster, spell, or trap. Negate the effect. This card seems very difficult to bring out, as you need 3 specific monsters, and you cannot use substitutes. However, what if I was to tell you that King's Knight can help meet this condition with his effect? The ability to stop your opponent from doing anything is good, however it relies on the cards you have in your existing hand. Therefore, if you were to attack and a trap gets activated and you have no response, you would have wasted 4 cards to bring this out. It is very powerful, but I cannot see many people successfully pulling its summoning off. The next card is Diffusion. This is a quick play spell that says target 1 fusion monster on the field, return that target to the extra deck, and if all the fusion materials that were used for its fusion summon are in your graveyard, you can special summon all of them. The best combo I can think of for this card is to attack with the fusion monster, then activate this, and you can make that many additional attacks, as the newly summoned monsters will have their attacks, or it could be used defensively. If you know your fusion will be destroyed, activate this, separate into the fusion materials, put them in defense mode, and you are protected for the turn. The next card is Book of Taiyo. This is a normal spell card that says flip 1 face down monster on the field into face up attack position. This might not seem that good, but if your opponent is playing a defensive deck, such as with the Labyrinth Wall, you can force that into attack, and it has 0 attack, so you can cause maximum damage. The next card is Floodgate Trap Hole. This is a normal trap card that says when your opponent summons a monster or monsters, change those monster or monsters to face down defense position. Monsters changed to face down defense position by this effect cannot change their battle positions. This is good if your opponent is summoning a strong monster. You can permanently prevent it from being useful, such as flipping a Blue Eyes White Dragon into defense. Next set of cards are super rares. The first is Horus the Black Flame Dragon, level 6. This is a fire dragon, level 6 with 2,300 attack and 1,600 defense. And its effect is, this card is unaffected by spell effects. During the end phase, if this card destroyed a monster by battle, this turn you can send this face-up card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 8 from your hand or deck. This card is protected from spells, and meeting the summoning for its next level is not that difficult. The next card is Noble Maneater Bug. This is an Earth Insect level 5 with 900 attack and 1,200 defense. And its effect is flip 2 destroyed monsters on the field. This is a good effect, as played correctly can eliminate your opponent's monsters. However, you will have to forego a couple of turns to pull this off. For example, you'll have to tribute 1 monster, then wait for a turn in order to use it. The next card is BES Crystal Core. This is a Water Machine level 5 monster with 2,100 attack and 1,000 defense. And its effect is, when this card is normal summoned, put 3 counters on it. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card attacks or is attacked, remove 1 counter from this card at the end of the damage step. If you cannot, destroy it. Once per turn, during the main phase, you can change 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls to face-up defense position. This card is useful at times and provides protection for itself, but can't be removed easily, as if your opponent attacks with weaker monsters. This can force the removal of your counters and force it to self-destruct. The battle mode change is insignificant against most decks, outside of perhaps Labyrinth Wall defense decks or cards that necessarily have weaker stats. Next card is BES Tetran. This is a Wind Machine level 6 monster with 1800 attack and 2300 defense, and its effect is, when this card is normal summoned, put 3 counters on it. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card attacks or is attacked, remove 1 counter from this card at the end of the damage step. If you cannot, destroy it. Once per turn, you can remove 1 counter on this card to destroy 1 spell or trap card on the field. This I believe to be better than the other BES monster, as it can get rid of back row, and you won't really rely on this card to beat your opponent, more to prevent your other monsters from being destroyed. The next card is Flame Tiger. This is a Fire Beast level 4 with 1800 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is, during your duel phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you control no monsters, instead of conducting your normal draw, you can special summon this card, and if you do, banish it when it leaves the field. This is useful for tribute summons, as it won't be destroyed the next turn for something like a Luster Dragon number 2, giving you the chance for more field presence. The next card is Botsir. This is an Earth Warrior level 4 with 1800 attack and 1000 defense, and its effect is, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can place 1 counter on this card. You can send this card with 2 or more counters to the graveyard, special summon 1 Earth monster from your deck. If this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card instead. This is beneficial, as you can prevent yourself from losing this monster, and it has a decent attack stat. Pair this with Gaia Power, the field spell, and this becomes 2300 attack. It also lets you summon a strong Earth monster without much cost. The only downside of this card is that it relies on destroying monsters in battle, so it will take at least 2 turns before you can use this effect. The next card is Canine Tool. This is a Fire Beast Warrior level 3 with 1500 attack and 200 defense, and its effect is, once per turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation in either player's turn, you can send 1 Beast, Beast Warrior, or Wing Beast type monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to the sent monster's level times 100 until the end of the battle phase. This means this card can get anywhere up to 2300 attack, assuming that at the moment there isn't really anything higher than a level 8 to work with. This can keep this card protected until the point you want to use it to tribute summon a stronger monster, or alternatively have this act like a Foolish Burial to send the strong monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and then revive them with other cards. The next card is Gaia Power. This is a field spell that says all Earth monsters gain 500 attack and lose 400 defense. This provides a boost to specific monsters, and is the last of the attribute fields to be released. It means you can have level 4 monsters with attack stats over 2000, being able to run over defensive monsters, and can be used often to finish your opponent. The next card is Armor Ninjitsu Art of Alchemy. This is a normal spell card that says, if you control a Ninjitsu Art card, destroy all face-up Ninjitsu Art cards you control, then draw 2 cards. This is the Ninja Draw card, and will be useful when they release further support for them. The next card is Fusion Recycling Plant. This is a field spell that says, once per turn, you can discard 1 card, add 1 polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Once per turn, during the end phase, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard that was used as a fusion material for a fusion summon this turn, add it to your hand. This card will not see much play, as you are restricted to the number of fusion monsters you can have, and also with the limited deck size, running the materials for them will be too much better to dedicate the specific fusions you want, such as Twin-Headed Dragon, so this will be avoided by most people. The next card is Damage equals Reptile. This is a continuous trap card that says, once per turn, when you take battle damage from a battle involving a reptile-type monster, you can special summon 1 reptile monster from your deck with attack less than or equal to the battle damage you took. This is not that useful at the moment, as there are far too few reptiles in the game to use it effectively, though later on, because we're covering worms, this might be the first viable archetype for it. The next card is Typhoon. This is a normal trap card that says target one face-up spell or trap card on the field, destroy it. If your opponent controls 2 or more spell or trap cards, and you control no spell or trap cards, you can activate this card from your hand. This can be helpful with some decks, such as against Pun Princess and Mirror Wall. However, the other ability you won't get, as you are limited to 3 spell and trap cards, and your opponent may not be running a back row heavy deck. So I think that's been enough of me talking for the moment, guys. What I'll probably do is, since the rare and the commons there are quite a few of them, and because it's quite a big box to cover, I will separate these into 3 videos, so make sure to look forward to those when they come out. Of the support currently that I've mentioned, which cards are your favourites? I like the Arcana Knight Joker, as it's a very unusual fusion monster. I don't see it being, used actually within the proper game. So it would be good if it attracted some people to start playing with it. It would also potentially encourage Konami to take a step back and say, okay, people are now playing this on Duel Links. Should we give them some more archetypal support? Make a Knights, archetype for all that, and bring in a new fusion that's maybe a bit easier to summon. And leave your comments, whatever you think, down below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Click the notifications so that you don't miss. Click the bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. And as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.